All right, going live. There we go. That's not bad. Check, 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 check one, two. Going live. What's up, guys? So I hope everybody is staying healthy and doing well despite what's going on. And I'm making this video because I want to give you my summary or take on what's been happening in the music industry in terms of advertising and other industries in the past 4 weeks. Right, we're sort of in week four, a month after everything started to sort of shut down. Businesses starting to shut down. Different states started to enact stay-at-home orders, and I want to share with you what you should be doing if you're in the music industry. And just a high level summary is basically that if you can afford it right now, if you can swing it, if you're in a position to be able to invest into digital marketing, into getting your brand out there, right now is the time, right? But also, let's be realistic and let's analyze what's going on in the industry, because I want to tell you why I say that from multiple different perspectives. One is that between my software company and my digital marketing agency for the music industry, I'm looking at like $250,000 being spent monthly in terms of advertising. And or at least a month ago, I was looking at that sort of data, and now it's definitely 30% down. I want to tell you which industries are sort of pulling out, but across the board, pretty much ad prices are going down. But another perspective I wanted to take a look at is what you should be investing into, right? Because I had a discussion back and forth through some comments on one of the United Masters posts saying that this year artists will earn independent artists will earn close to $2 billion in revenue, which at the end of the day, right now, it's not a prediction that I think is going to be necessarily accurate. It could be, but I think we're not under normal market conditions. But the reason I'm bringing that post up is because in there we're talking about the streaming numbers, and a lot of artists are like, yeah, definitely, because all the music streaming platforms are up right now and all of that. So I actually want to report to you guys and look at some realistic numbers. I'm going to go through some articles here that the streaming numbers are not up. Streaming numbers on Spotify, Apple Music, specifically, are actually down because of the COVID-19 virus, as much as 15%. So let's go through some of these, right? So again, being able to look at data of different industry sectors advertising, through between my two companies, I could tell you that luxury items such as like, clothing, electronics, pretty much any consumer goods that are not essentials right now are all pulling out of the market at least a little bit, from a ad revenue perspective. Not, I'm sorry, not ad revenue, in terms of how much they're spending on ads, their ad budgets, right? Some are pulling out completely. We're seeing up to at least 30 to 40% reduction in overall ad spend in these industries, and because of that lack of demand, the ad prices are also dropping. In the music industry, the ad prices so far, what I've noticed, I think in our digital marketing agency, we're doing close to 50,000 a month between all our clients. I think it dropped around 20% so far, what I'm seeing in terms of ad prices. It's going down. So that's why I say that right now, if you can afford it, it's best time to be advertising your brand. But let's make it clear what exactly you should be advertising, right? Because again, the streaming numbers are down for multiple reasons. Look, at the end of the day, a lot of music is consumed during the commute of going to work in the morning, lunch, um, afternoon rush hour traffic, all of that on buses, public transportation, things of that nature. So I think that's one of my hypotheses of why the streaming is down. Second, the radio is actually up. I think that's because families are together in the house, so they'll put on the radio as opposed to putting on Spotify or Apple Music, right? Because a lot of streaming on Spotify happens through playlists, and generally playlists are either tailored by the users themselves, by the if you have a Spotify account. Like, I have my own playlist, right? I'm not talking about, I rarely listen to other people's or other companies' playlists unless it's Spotify curated playlists. But a lot of music is still consumed through playlists. And in order to, accommodate everyone in the family, you're probably going to throw on a radio station as opposed to your niche playlist. But anyways, the numbers are down for streaming on Spotify and Apple Music, but they're up for Amazon. That is explained by Alexa being more heavily used because more people are in the house and more people are, interacting with their voice devices at home, like Google Home, Alexa, and similar. So they're going to be asking for songs there. So actually, Amazon Music streaming is up, but Spotify and Apple Music again is not. But what we're seeing is that Netflix, YouTube, Instagram consumption, all that is up, right? So if you're going to invest, because the ad prices are low, it's the best time to get into the market and to get additional attention, more consumers looking at your content than before. Now, I'm not saying advertising your songs or your particular single or album or projects is a bad idea, but because everybody wants to be sort of a little bit more social because we can't interact with other people, outside of the people you're staying in your house with. Um, do more branding push, right? So create stories. For example, talk about what you've been able to accomplish in the last year. Talk about what you've been able to accomplish in the last couple months with your digital marketing team or with your PR team, or maybe you don't have a team. Talk about your personal, struggle, trials and tribulations of what's going on, as you're trying to start your career in the music industry and all of that. Try to connect with people. So if you're able to create posts that you can then turn into, that's more of a connection, future fans, potential fans, or your existing fans, then that's definitely content that I would recommend putting money behind in terms of promotion. But again, even the songs, also, I think one of the reasons Spotify and Apple Music is down is because, generally major labels advertise heavy. Whether you guys believe it or not, major labels advertise heavy through Spotify and Apple Music, especially when it comes to concerts. And because a lot of concerts are canceled, that ad money, that additional push, which creates that streaming demand, is down. But Netflix is up from 30 billion minutes last month to 48.5 billion minutes per week, which is almost, I mean, this is like a 70% increase. Um, uh, let's see, I'm sorry, actually, let me get this right. Netflix and other similar ones are that much. So shows that makes sense. YouTube is up from 28 billion to 32 billion minutes per week. So YouTube is definitely up. Amazon and Hulu are also up from around 10 billion minutes to almost, yeah, to 16 billion minutes of consumption, right? So again, it may not necessarily be your music that people have time to be consuming, because they're also not going to the gym and other places where they would usually listen to their Spotify, Apple Music accounts. But putting your content out there as a musician about your brand, your principles, who you are, and all that, that definitely makes sense. So I don't want to get too much of the numbers, but let's look at the reality. Understand what markets are up and down, what streaming platforms make sense to invest to, what content you should be creating. But again, if you do have the luxury, if you're in a position where you have savings, or if you're a larger label or a smaller label and you're in the position behind marketing of your, now is the time to do it, because the prices are going as low as I've seen them like 4 years ago in terms of per click, per CTR, per million, impressions and all that. So again, if you could do it, do it. That would be my recommendation. And we're sort of seeing the pickup of clients coming to us as well. They're in the position to do it. Generally, clients with bigger budgets, investors, and small labels, not artists starting out. Because I know right now a lot of people are going through tough times. But again, I'm going to leave you with that. If you are in the entertainment industry and you are in the position to advertise, right now is the time to do it. But understand how to do it correctly, what type of content you need to create and push. And man, look at the data, read some articles from reputable sources, so you know what is going on. Don't just hop on the post and be like, yeah, everybody, more people at home, so streaming numbers, all that is up. That's not actually true. So look at the real data. I'm here to report on that. And if you guys have any questions, always in the comments or DM me. Let's engage, and see you guys in the next video. Peace.